Okay, guys, and today I'm going to give you the patch note for CB0.22 release the Kraken. So let's go straight into it. We just got the patch note while the patch is going on at the same time, but since I have a class like in an hour or two, I didn't have really time to play the patch today and give you some good gameplay. So I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow, for example. So so today I'm going to give you the CB0.22 patch notes. What's new? We got some new cards, or yeah, I would say it's new cards even if they rework some. For example, Bulwark, the Roman card. Now, what it does is your summoning tone cannot take more than 4 damage for a single source. That will be really good against anti-aggro, for example. I believe that will work against Dragon King, that could work from a low key being able to burst down your stone. Any like a Fenrir that has like so much attack, you can just bulwark and make it that it cannot one shot you. So it's gonna be interesting. But and I believe they didn't change the mana, so it's like 2 mana because it's not saying. Anyways, moving on. Gift of Munning, card that was so imbalanced that got introduced in CB 0.21. Now, what it does, it's 3 mana, deal 3 damage. If you have less card than your opponent, draw a card. So, it's kind of good, like 3 damage, you can do it to the stone, you can do it to anything on board, and you draw a card. So it replaces itself. If you have less cards, which obviously that's what you want in Norse, which I like that card. Gunner's Might, 2 damage, deal 2 damage. 2 mana, sorry, deal 2 damage. If this is the only card in your hand, deal 3 damage. So it's kind of Gifts of Mudding, but in a different way. Cost less, you deal less, but you can deal the same amount. But that's if it's the only card in your hand. So I don't know. 2 mana to deal 2 damage. It's like a controlled Fate, but you hit less target, right? Because Fate is gonna obviously still remain in the game. Reconstruct, rename to Construct, deploy 303 Obelisk. That's gonna be good for body blocking, but it's gonna be really interesting to see how good it's gonna be effective. Mercury, an epic 3 mana 3/3 and random Warcry, randomly deal 1 damage 3 times. I mean, if you hit the stones, it's really not good. But if you hit a unit like a Venator, for example, or a Marksman, that's gonna be really amazing. So, I mean, they're introducing more RNG cards like that. I really don't. I mean, I don't like that. If it would say randomly deal 1 damage 3 times to units, I would love that because at least you can target what you really want to deal 3 damage. At the second turn of the game, going for 3 damage on a summoning stone is not really gonna help you much. Anyways, moving on, a new legendary card, the Kraken, a 4 mana that replace your leader ability with the Kraken. You spend 3 mana to deal 2 damage in a 2/2 area. And I believe that will also deal damage to the summoning stone. So that will be like so good. Why? Because you can only now spawn stuff around your summoning stones. So this will not only hit your summoning stone, but also whatever you just spawned that turn. It's gonna be really, really good. Maybe a little bit too OP. I mean, I don't know. You're still gonna have to spend 3 mana each turn though if you want to do that. So it's gonna clearly can go to more control-y style of gameplay with Greeks. Now, general, let me just read that really fast because I didn't read the patch note to be honest. I just had a really good quick look and I was like so hyped. So I'm basically giving you all my first thoughts on that. Core gameplay improvement. As the gods move further along in closed beta, we have made additional change to the game board to make each decision more meaningful. Leaders now truly command their mythological armies and have been moved aside off the board to oversee the battle. We found having leaders that could be redeployed once defeated introduce a number of issues for players, such as the balance point between range leaders versus melee leaders, while also adding unnecessary steps in the flow of the game that took away from the core gameplay elements in Head of the Gods. In addition to the leader change, we have removed a row from the game board. It's a 9x4 now. It was 9x5 before. And change your primary objective of each match from defeating 2 10 health summoning stones to 1 25 health summoning stones. Okay, turn timers. the turn timers that have wait, the time you have to take your turns has been reduced from 90 seconds to 80 seconds. I guess they would just want faster games. I mean, that's basically why. I mean, it's gonna be really more stressful now. You have a lot of stuff on board, but you don't have to play your leader anymore and to move it around and to spawn around him. So I guess that can be fair enough. Pack opening. Now when you open up packs, you will see every card's pantheon and rarity. Okay. Well, you just say like Greek rare, I guess. Hmm. Uh, basically, I think this is basically just like Hearthstone. How you open a pack? That's really funny though. Speech bubbles. When using emote, the speech bubble will now come from the leader's mouth instead of your leader's ability. Oh, I mean, that's cool. Effect icon improvement. We added the coloration of the effects icon in game to be more clear. I guess. Ranked. Rank will temporarily be disabled as we look to improve the ranking spirits. Yeah, that really... Improving the ranking spirits was something that was really needed. Removing ranked for the moment, I didn't really play that because it was completely broken, so I guess doesn't change much for me. But maybe for some of you guys that play a lot of ranks, you're gonna have to play some casual, unfortunately for you. But you know, you're gonna be all the good players are gonna be there also, so maybe you're gonna just fight against the same people. Player names and icon. The location of player names and icons being moved to under the leader. Oh, okay. Balance. Range units have had their attack range reduced from 4 to 3. And this is really important because the board got smaller, so the being able to reduce the range units to smaller range is going to be really helpful to nerf that power that range unit had over the melee ones. Now, Annihilation. We have ramp up the effects for the spell. I mean, changing the 2 stones for 1 stones really nerfed Annihilation also. So I guess there's that. Anubis. We have improved the visual effects for Anubis when he spawns in. Oh, that's cool. It's going to be interesting if they actually patch the bugs with Anubis. Backstab now hits summoning stones, I guess. Banish no longer require a target to be used, and that's awesome. Now you can banish a stealth Loki if you have that card in your hand, so that's gonna be really cool. And I like that. Beacon of Hope, reducing mana from 5 to 4. Okay, so in the early stages of the game, Beacon of Hope was 4 mana, and it was amazingly powerful because of how the game was working with like Thanatos and all of these cards. But now, because Beacon of Hope will not trigger the War Cry, if you get Nemesis or Thanatos, it's really, really bad. Even like a Scylla for 4 mana is not that even good. But if you get like an Athena and Ares, you're not going to have their battle cries also, or should I say their War Cry. Sorry, and you're just gonna have the body. So I can see why it's 4 mana, and I'm okay with a Beacon of Hope at 4 mana, getting like a 4/8 Ares. I mean, it's good, but it's also random. So Bellona ability now applies to all units who were played this turn instead of only after the ability was used. Yeah. So now you play all of your units, and then you buff your units, just like how I thought it should have been. And I really like that, but I think it's going to be more intuitive for the players to do it like that. Blade Master now heals your summoning stone. Of course, if you have no more leader, now you should heal your summoning stone. Bombard. Deal 2 damage. If you control 3 or more units, deal 4 damage instead. That's such a good card because it's 3 mana to deal 4. It's like a Magna Slam if you control 3 or more units. It's a worse Magna Slam basically, but wait. Yeah, 4 damage. No, it's a better Magma Slam, but a worse one at the same time, depending on the position. And I really like cards like that. And it's really cool that, it's damage, so you can do it whatever you want. Book of the Dead, improve the visual effects. Okay. Cataclysm, the lower card target to be used just like Banish. So that's really cool also. Charge, increase mana cost from 1 to 2. We did it, guys. We finally did it. After what, like 4 patch? 4 patch, I can't remember how much. Of charge just being 1 mana and Norse only. That was so powerful. We finally got the nerf that we all wanted for charge. And it's increased to 2 mana like it was long time ago. And I think that's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be more harder to just charge anything that you get. Emperor's Health now applies to your summoning zones. Okay, cool. Moving on. Fangwei, increase attack from 4 to 5. Fangwei is now a 5-2 immune to spells. That's gonna be interesting, nonetheless. Gem of Isolation, reduce the cost from 2 to 1. I guess because it's only going to affect what's on board now. Yeah, I can see that. Ward, reduce cost from 2 to 1. Yeah, I mean, if you want Guard to be used, you have to reduce its cost. I think Ward on Ares, that, or like Athena, that would be really interesting. Even in Hades, if you think about it, because he is ranged, that's gonna be really good. 1 mana, it's gonna be the difference between 2 mana and 1 mana is really, really big. Like, it's super easy to squeeze 1 mana, while squeezing 2 mana sometimes is really hard. Heavenly Agility, reduce cost from 1 to 0. Yeah, I mean, you're investing one whole card into something that was not your leader, right? When your leader had like 20 health, Heavenly Agility on your leader, you're sure it's gonna stick through the whole game. Then when your leader had less health, if you have an 8 like health leader Poseidon, it was still pretty good. But now you're gonna have to use it on a unit that will probably die soon. I mean, most of the units die fast. Infernal Cannon, increase health from 2 to 3. Okay, Infernal Cannon didn't really need a buff, but because you have no more leaders to be able to place your cannon into an offensive spot, and that means you can only spawn your cannon around your summoning zone, unless you have another spawn point like Annual's Flag, but I mean, unless we get the annual from a Yanis that actually steal from a Greek one from the draw, right? You know what I'm saying? Your Infernal Cannons will always be around your summoning zone. So Infernal Cannon is going to be much more of a defensive tool, because even if there's 4 in between the stones, right? If you put your cannon the closest to the opponent's summoning stone, because it has 3 range, it's not going to be able to shoot at the stone anymore. Mercenary now is based on your summoning stone. Interesting. That's really interesting. Scylla increased, health increased from 2 to 3. Okay, that's good for Scylla, but what I'm scared here is that Soul Essences, Bold Demon King, they still have Cleave, or am I missing that they didn't touch that? And that's gonna be really awkward. Siphon Mind now deal damage to Summoning Stone. Okay. Sun Wukong improve the village effects on its cards. The bug fix, but not a lot. Fix an issue where Mana Potion did not add mana if you have privily accumulate 10 mana on your turn. Okay, that's good. That's finally fixed. Fix an issue where Sylvic passive could proc when after it was linked to a full health target. Oh yeah, because after that it was still healing and Sylvic was still getting buffed. Fix an issue where Nox ability was not correctly setting range to... Yeah, that was also really easy to notice. Fix an issue where Red Thassa can return damage will use this passive instead. Yeah. Fix an issue where the skull kill icon will appear for fatal damage if the target will die from his passive but not... The target will die from his passive but not from an attack. A little bit lost here. Fix an issue where spell damage was not clear just if 2 points were in play and one was killed. Yeah, okay. Fix an issue where Loki could not attack if the only available landing space for his teleport was his own starting tile. Ooh, okay, that was a bug. People thought it was maybe not. Okay, fix an issue where Ra will not properly give XP. So we still have a bunch of bugs that are not corrected, but you never know. Maybe it's gonna be addressed soon. So that's gonna be it for CB0.22 release the Kraken. Now what I'm scared of, like I said, is that cleave and AoE damage that's like soul is going to be really, really powerful here. Even Ho Yi, just being able to attack the stone for free and hit anything that's around it is going to be really, really powerful. So be sure that you're gonna see some Essentials, some Bull Demon King, some Soul, some Zuyi. It's gonna come and ruin your games. So yeah, except from that, I really like all the other ones. It seems like they're pushing more for direct damage, with the Bombards, the Gift of Money, the Under's Might. But it's funny that there was no mention for cards like Pardon. Like Pardon's gonna just give Pardon to one of your units, I guess, still. And yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. And like I said, I'm gonna try to do first look at the game tomorrow because I don't have time today. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me whether you think about the patch notes, what you think about the change, and just if you like the video, just don't forget to mention it. It's really helped me out. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.